All right, let's get right into it. Today, in this explainer, we're diving into the ultimate classic case study of strategic planning and, quite literally, survival: the three little pigs. Now, we are not just doing story time here. We're going to break this narrative down as a complete masterclass in structural integrity and risk management. We're looking directly at the source material to figure out why some projects completely crumble under pressure while others hold up and stand the test of time. So, the whole thing kicks off with one really fundamental question. What actually happens when individuals finally strike out on their own to achieve true independence? I mean, leaving the safety of a familiar environment to establish your own shelter. That is a universally massive undertaking. It takes split-second decision-making, resource allocation, and honestly, just a ton of effort. And to see how this plays out, we're focusing on exactly three subjects today. We've got three little pigs facing the exact same environmental conditions, the exact same timeline, and eventually, the exact same external threat. But, and here is the fascinating part, their distinct approaches to this exact same problem yielded vastly different results. It's basically a perfectly controlled experiment. Section 1. Leaving the mother's house. Which brings us right to Section 2. 3 pegs, 3 materials. All right, so they all set out from their mother's home with the shared goal of building a shelter. But look at this clear cause and effect breakdown of their choices. Pig number 1, he goes with straw. And his attitude? The source says he was very proud of it. Pig number 2 buys sticks, builds his house, and thinks it looks absolutely brilliant. But then we have the third piggy. The source literally identifies him as the cleverest. He chooses bricks. Now, the effort required here is key. It took him a very long time, but you know what? He didn't mind at all. You can immediately see this huge contrast between the quick, look-at-me builds of the first 2 pigs and the incredibly calculated, time-consuming approach of the third. It really is the ultimate showdown between instant gratification and long-term preparation. Straw and sticks, that's rapid deployment. You get that immediate hit of satisfaction, you feel proud, you feel brilliant. But with bricks, well, the third pig totally sacrificed that instant gratification. He didn't care about the extra time it took because his entire focus was on building a rock-solid foundation. He traded the quick win for serious structural security. Moving on to Section 3, the big bad wolf. Because now that structural integrity is about to get the ultimate stress test. Our source notes that one day, pig number 1 is just proudly admiring his straw house, totally clueless that a big bad wolf is lurking literally right behind him. An imminent, completely unprovoked threat. The little pig runs inside, and the wolf makes his first move. He knocks on the door and hits him with that famous line, little pig, let me in." It's a straight-up psychological tactic, right? He's trying to intimidate an already terrified target. But give the pig some credit. Despite his terror, he fires back with this iconic, defiant response, "Not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin." Just a flat-out, bold rejection of the demand. But as we know, that vocal defiance just triggers a massive escalation from the external threat. Yeah, negotiations are officially over. The wolf drops the act and states his destructive intentions loud and clear. Then, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." He is literally announcing that he's about to apply maximum aerodynamic force. It is time to test those building materials. And just look at how this progression unfolds. First attack, the wolf blows as hard as he can. The straw house instantly falls to pieces. Total failure. So the pig scrambles over to his brother's stick house. The wolf follows, issues the exact same threat, blows as hard as he can again, and bam, the stick house falls to pieces too. Now they're both panicking, running to the third brother's brick house. The wolf follows them, issues the threat, applies maximum force, and nothing happens. The brick house stood completely still. The wolf huffed and puffed as hard as humanly or, well, wolfishly possible, but that house did not budge. The long-term preparation finally absolutely pays off. Which brings us to our final act, Section 4, the clever boiling water trap. So, brute force wind power is a total bust against bricks. The wolf is furious, and he realizes he has to pivot his strategy. Step 1, he climbs up onto the roof. Step 2, he squeezes himself down the chimney for a covert entry. But step 3, this is where the third pig's intellect just outclasses him. Anticipating this exact vulnerability, the clever pigs had set up a pot of boiling hot water right on the fireplace, so the wolf comes sliding down the chimney and falls straight into it. His reaction is immediate and honestly pretty hilarious. "Ouch, ouch, my bottom." I mean, it proves the defensive trap was an absolute success. You combine the element of surprise with a serious environmental hazard, and the wolf is just yelling in pain, running away as fast as you possibly can. The primary threat has been completely repelled simply by anticipating the enemy's next move.
And just look at the final outcomes here. It is a flawless victory for proper planning. The wolf ran away and was literally never seen again. The threat was permanently neutralized. The three little pigs cheered, and best of all, they consolidated their living situation. They all moved securely into the brick house so they could actually thrive together as a group.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a question to chew on. When you're facing your own big projects, your own challenges, are you rushing for a quick fix, like those first two pigs? Going for that immediate pride, but leaving yourself totally vulnerable to the slightest bit of pressure? Or are you putting in the actual time, the patience, and the sweat equity to build a lasting foundation out of bricks? Because remember, the materials you choose today are exactly what will determine how well you withstand the wolves of tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and hey, keep building smart.